So I'm waiting for some people to come in the building. What up, people? Let's crack into the YouTube family. Peace, everybody on YouTube. What's going on? Waiting for some people to get in the building. Hit that comment section. Hit the like button. Share. Get people on this motherfucking live. Because we got some shit to talk about. Like the title says, we going against the grain. And man, welcome to Kahuna Belly TV. We're going to start this, discussion in a few minutes. I'm just eating. I just got off work. McDonald's. This shit hitting right now. It ain't really good for me to eat, but it is what it is. Fucking blood pressure higher than a motherfucker. But come on, let's get in this motherfucking live. Let's get it. Hold up. My connection going in and out. Hold on. I got somebody trying to get into the live, but they can't see it. YouTube playing games. They don't want this message to get spread. Let me see if I can share it. Oh, shit. I'm on right now. Send them the link to my live. So hopefully YouTube lets them join. If not, they'll just watch the video after. Come on, people. We got some shit we got to talk about. We going against the grain. Let's get it. Welcome to Kahuna Belly TV, where we get it on and cracking. It's the wave, baby. Wave girl, savvy. Let's go. Facto. This is hitting right now, man. I don't know about y'all, but where I'm at, McDonald's doing a deal. I think it's like 2 of their signature sandwiches for like $5. So you get a quarter pounder and shit for like with cheese. I don't like ketchup though. That shit nasty. But and a Big Mac, $5, nigga. Or 2 quarter pounders, whatever, or fish sandwich, whatever. I ain't buy it though. Waiting for people to hit this fucking line. Hit that comment section. Let me know if you in the building, because I can't see when people are in the building. Something's wrong with this shit. The comment section. Fuck. Ooh, the fuck. The connection is unstable right now. YouTube trying to shut us down because they know we about to talk that shit. About to talk that talk. Hungry as shit right now. We just using this time to eat, really, because we waiting for at least one more person to get in the building or let us know they in the building. Why with the ketchup though? Yo, I fucking hate ketchup. Still hitting, but I don't know the ketchup. So got a McDouble and a quarter pounder and shit. Nigga worked a hard day. You gotta eat. Normally I just cook after work on my white cook after work. All right. So I'm tired of waiting. Oh, we had another person in the building. I don't know what the fuck going on. All right, so fuck it. We're about to start this live. So I'm about to work on a new Patreon. Yeah, I can't remember. I do so much shit. I got so much shit coming. So many projects coming. Music. All type of shit coming. Merch. All that shit coming. So I can't remember if I changed my Patreon to Kahuna Valley TV to match my YouTube, which I think I did. So just go to my Patreon. There still is no content on Patreon yet. The reason why is because I'm waiting for y'all to get on there. Once I see I have some supporters on Patreon, I'm going to be doubling up on the content on Patreon. So if you fuck with the content, you fuck with the videos, you fuck with what I'm talking about, and you vibing with us, we got another person in the building, so we better get started. If you fuck what I talk about in these videos, go to my Patreon because we're going to do double the amount of videos on Patreon than we do on YouTube once I see people on Patreon. But you got to pay for that. That's why we're going to do double. So now, like the title says, we're going against the grain. And what I mean by that is we going against this motherfucking agenda that's going on. Oh, Ollie 420 was cracking. You in the building. About to get started. So, yo, comment back. It was cracking, Ollie. Let's have a good live, a go live. What the fuck is a go live? So, all right. So shit about to get real. Now, when we going against the grain is we going against the agenda that's being pushed, right? And we all know when you speak about a certain people, I can tell, nigga. All right. You speak about a certain group of people, it's now a hate crime. Actually, two groups of people. Now, over time, I figured out that these two groups of people, one of them may not know what they're getting into. Well, the civilians involved, right? And I'm going to say the LGBT community, right? I don't think the civilians know that they're pushing an agenda to destroy minorities, meaning black people. I don't think they know. But we have another community And let's say it's the community that every time they do something wrong or get caught doing something wrong or lying, or someone says anything that they think is negative, they say it's anti-Semitic. But anyone who's educated, whether you street educated or whatever, you know that they're not Semitic. And that the word is not even Semitic, it's Shemitic, right? So now, because they're not the real Israelites, they're not the real Jews, which is why they don't call Israel a country or a nation, they call it a state, the state of Israel. Because they cannot be classified as a country because they're not the actual, or a nation because they're not the actual natives of that place. Actually, none of the people are actually there. So now, these two groups are pushing an agenda that, if lined up properly, would help to destroy the Black, Latino, Native American, minority groups further. The reason why this is going to happen is because with this group, financially, they're crumbling the minority groups. Let's say the Jewish people, Jewish. And this is not hate speech. This is facts. Anyone can see this for itself. So I don't want YouTube to take this down. I know the FBI is probably watching, or let's say the alphabet groups, because there's multiple different alphabet groups that are now looking on YouTube and destroying people on YouTube, whether it be indicting them, fucking with their YouTube or whatever the case. It's not hate speech. I went through all the proper precautions to put parental guidance on this. So whatever I say, it doesn't matter. They already demonetized me. So I really don't care. These Jewish people control the finances, right? And one of the ways that they financially destroy minorities, and which is why I made the videos for minorities to go ahead and start their own businesses and keep the income local, which means if you keep the income within your community, you can go underground and not have to worry about taxes. If you're keeping it local and you're building up your community. Because if the entire community is working together, there's no way in hell they're going to indict an entire community. There's no way. An individual, yeah, you don't pay your taxes, you get locked up. But if an entire community, for example, the American Revolution, an entire community, 13 colonies went against an entire country because they were being taxed. Not the American Revolution, but the Boston Tea Party and all that thing, and all of that. No taxation without representation, all of that shit. They were going against a bigger entity. So now if all of our ghetto communities, all the hoods, form their own businesses and keep their incomes localized in their communities and build up their communities, there's nothing the government can really do, because they would have to literally shut down that entire community. But you can't shut down a community that's self-sufficient. It's very difficult. What are you going to do? Cut off the power. But if you have somebody who has a solar panel company, and like I said, you're off the grid, eventually there's nothing they can really do. Or that they will do, because they're not going to make an entire state or an entire city suffer because a group of people decided to be self-sufficient. The Amish people do it and they don't do anything to them. So now, in the Jewish communities, their communities are self-sufficient. They have their own politics that the government respects. There's reasons behind that too. And I'm trying to word these things so that I don't get shut down, and because I think I'm already being monitored by the government in some way, because the signs are showing. My views is being blocked, that my views is being trimmed, deleted, moved around. My lives are being shut down. So one of the ways that they control the finances and cripple minorities is they go into the community. They buy up the properties at a low price, because even at a low price, your parents can't afford it. Your parents have been on government assistance programs for so many years, your grandparents, that you're financially crippled already. You now have to break a cycle. So now you go get a job and you work, but that job don't pay you enough because you're already at a financial disadvantage due to slavery. Those scars and wounds have never healed. You're from that period when you came into this country. Hey, baby. You were predestined to be in a financial disadvantage. They go into your community, buy up the properties, rent it out to you. And when those properties are repaired, fixed up, they increase the prices of the rent. So now you can't afford to move anywhere else. And now when new people come to the community that can't afford rent anywhere else, now it becomes overpopulated. They go build up nice properties for themselves. They run those properties to the ground. Now, mind you, they don't fix anything in your communities. So when the shit in your community is already pretty bad, they let your community crumble. Your community is already fucked up. So now you ready to move out. You done saved up all your little social services checks or whatever you getting, your little money. Now their community started looking like shit. So they see a way to flip those properties. They now rent those properties out to you. You move into those old properties that were nice when they lived there, but they ran it down, didn't take care of it. The kids done fucked up the yards, threw all their shit out in the yard. They throw trash out everywhere. They don't fix any fucking thing. The roads is shit. There's potholes everywhere. And trust me, I know. I've moved into their communities. Now, basically, they turn their nice communities into project communities, in a sense. You now move into those properties. You move out of the projects they're already putting you in. You got to eat too, baby. Are you ready? I'll taste it. Oh, what? Oh, fuck. Oh. Oh. All right. All right. Now, you have project buildings. They go buy the project buildings. When your communities are so run down, they can barely stand, they let you move into their communities that are run down. You move into their communities that are run down. They rent them out to you in small sections because they've been working on apartment complexes too. But if you notice, where black people live, the apartment complexes are never that nice. But where they live, their apartment complexes look damn near like fucking mansions. But by the time you see a black person living there, they look like them shits have been there for hundreds of years. They look destroyed, dismantled. That's because they run those apartments down, and when they're damn near worthless and they can't resell it, or they can resell it, but they resell it to somebody who's going to rent it out to people who are poor or financially disadvantaged, they move, they get the money to buy the property that you used to live in, the run-down ass apartments, they tear them down and build new shit. But what they do is they plan it so everything is timed and done methodically so that there's no way that it could be fucked up. Black people don't have the finances to do shit like that because we spend our money in other communities. Let me have some of that. In other communities. Right? Mm-hmm. And I'm about to be ratchet and drink out the bottle. Huh? Did you eat something earlier?
Yeah.
Let me have some. God damn. All right. Now, we go support and make white people richer than they already are. That's why the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor, because we do not support each other. If a black man comes out with a clothing line that is not technically owned by a white man, you will not buy it. You won't buy it. You'll support it in the beginning while it's a fad. But after a while, it's going to die out. Look at Sean John. Look at Diddy's clothing line. Excuse me. Shit. And that's the perfect example of people not supporting black business. And this comes from slavery. Massa turned the slaves against the other slaves. You would not support a movement by another slave, because if you did, Massa would kill you. If you didn't and you kissed Massa ass, he'd treat you a little bit better than that other slave. He would take the light-skinned slave in the house and treat him better than he would the dark-skinned slave, and have the dark-skinned slave picking that fucking cotton till his fucking hands bled. Everything that is fucking us up as a community now comes from slavery. Everything. Not supporting each other, not having no fucking money, not having financial disadvantage, educational disadvantages, living disadvantages, everything, health disadvantages. It all comes from the slave master. And their plans to completely decimate and dominate you as a people. And the people that wake you up, what happens? They get killed, put in prisons, and nothing ever changes. So now, after they buy these properties, they build them up real nice, real fucking nice. Trust me, I know. I see the shit going on outside my motherfucking door every day. I see them fixing up their houses. I drive down the street and I see them building up new shit every goddamn day. Right? Now, I live in a house, not an apartment, a house. But if you look on the outside of my house, which one day I will show you, in comparison to the outside of their house, you can tell that there's a big fucking difference. There's a big difference. And mind you, even if you could financially afford to live in one of their community houses, they're not going to let you stay there. They'll call the police on you, say you're blasting your music. They'll use stereotypes against you, because 9 times out of 10, the police is going to believe what they fucking say. Because A, their community's majority, their people. You're a new person living there, and all they have to do is say, "It's never been this loud here," and they came here, and the music's been loud, and their kids are crazy. Mind you, their kids will throw shit through your window. Their kids will fuck your car up, pop your tires, and all that shit, but the police won't say anything to them. Trust me, I know people who've moved into their communities prior to me doing it, and shit like that's happened. But God forbid you whoop one of their asses, now you go into prison for the rest of your fucking life because it's a hate crime. Mind you, a black person could say, "Oh, a white dude did some racist shit," so you smack the shit out of him, and you still go to jail. That proves that this country is still extremely racist, that there is no support for black people. There's no support for any minority, really, but black people got the worst end of it. So now, black people got the worst of it, because a Jewish person can say what you're saying is anti-Semitic, but you can't. If somebody says something disrespectful to you, you can't say that's anti-black. First of all, you don't have a nationality, because your nationality was stolen. Before we get into that, we're going to get into that, but we're going to talk about this financial disadvantage first. So now you move into this new community, which you can barely afford. They build up that community, and it's just a cycle of you switching locations back into the communities they've already taken over. And you're stuck in this cycle of not being able to move out of the ghetto. Look at the projects in New York City, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, Long Island, even the projects down here in Rockland County, down across the bridge, right? Most of them are fenced in. The places that black people live, the majority of them are fenced in. If you look at the Bronx River projects, for example, if you watch Hassan Campbell's video where he's standing in Bronx River at nighttime, it looks like a fucking prison yard. When you go, this is why when black people go to prison, they come home and haven't learned anything. Because when they come home, they just going back to prison. When you leave home, you go back to you going into another prison. You're at prison at home and you're at prison in a prison, in a penitentiary. It doesn't change. You're in a fucking cage regardless to where you go. The reason why they fence in where you live at is so that if they declared martial law, it's very easy to just lock you in there and keep you in there. You're like an animal. They just close up the fences, put barbed wire over the top, you're locked in. You can't leave. You don't see that in apartments and duplexes and all that shit that majority rich white people live in. Poor white people don't even live like that. They live in trailer parks, which 9 times out of 10, at least in certain communities that I've been to, is not fenced in. You could walk in and out of that motherfucker, drive up and down the road and leave that motherfucker. But not the projects. There's certain exits. There's no, you can't just walk freely across the grass and go to a shortcut. Majority of the time, there's a fence. There's an exit you have to leave. When you live in the projects, you're being trained to go to prison. You're being trained to follow these directions when you go to prison. Have you noticed if you've gone to jail or gotten arrested and just walking around it don't seem that much different than being at home? The only difference is being outside and inside a building. You're stacked on top of each other like fucking sardines. You're surrounded by cages and gates. There's nothing different. I'm about to wake y'all up with this. Now, the homosexual community and how they're involved, the LGBT community, and not the lowly, regular gay people who jack the LGBT group, the civilians, not them, the elites, the ones on top. They're trying to destroy black people too. Minorities too. The ones at the bottom, they don't even know what the fuck they're getting themselves into. They're really not even a part of that community. They think they are. I'm about to fuck y'all up with this. When the LGBT community, their beginnings started with feminist rights groups. Because, and a lot of y'all are going to be like, nah, that's not true. No, it's very true. Just pay attention to the patterns. Go back, look up some videos, read some articles, and see what came first. You could not, in this country, because homophobia was so fucking strong and pushed so hard, you could not just go from civil rights for black people to gay rights. You couldn't do it. There had to be somewhere in between. And the reality of it is, if you really think about it, I think that, first of all, rich white men do not want rights for women either. They don't want rights for gays, and they don't want rights for black people. But they would prefer to have rights for gay people and women. So they started with the women to ease in the gay people, because at least the gay people that they're fighting for rights for are men. The majority of them. Because they still look at women like they ain't shit anyway. Right? The feminist groups come in, they say, we want rights for women. And you needed that little step in between to kind of ease y'all into this shit and thinking that the gay shit is okay. And like I said, I ain't got no problem. I said this in a previous video. I ain't got no problems with no gay people. You keep that shit over there. I keep my heterosexuality, my straightness over here. You keep your gay shit over there. I keep my shit over here. You respect my space. I respect yours. I ain't got to slap the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? You pull up on me with that sweet sugar shit, I might punch you in the face. It's not a hate crime. It's me telling you ahead of time, stay in your fucking lane, and I'm going to stay in my lane. You give me a chance to let you breathe, and I'm going to let you fucking breathe. So now, we got another person in the building. What up? So now, the gay rights movements started with the feminist rights movements, which is rights for women. They come in and say, we're equal to men. That's how it starts, right? We're equal to men. We want all the same rights as men, right? So men say, okay, we can, after so many movements and so many bills get passed and so many courts and going to court and all this shit, because they have to say sexual harassment has to take part, domestic violence has to take part, harassment in the workplace, harassment in places. So now you can't even look at a woman without her saying sexual harassment. You can't do it. You can't scream at your woman now or curse at her or even raise your voice, elevate, and you could be having a debate without domestic violence if she don't like what you say. Trust me, you will get arrested for raising your voice at your woman, depending on the state and county you live in. You will get arrested. If you've ever gotten arrested, and it don't even have to be your woman. It could be somebody else's woman, because there could be a female jumping on your girl and you smack fire at her. You be like, yo, bitch, if you hit my girl, I'm going to knock your ass out. She call the police going to come say you threatened her. That's domestic violence. That's the problem. You're going to jail. You might not get convicted of anything, but you're getting arrested. So now, trust me, I've watched people do it. Now, all of these things come into play to getting these female rights. So men get tired of this shit. They're like, all right, we're going to give you what you want. We good. We give you what you want. Now, that puts a little bit of a space for the gay people to slide up in there and say, oh, shit, women have rights. I feel like a woman inside. I should have rights. A man now says, I want gay rights. Mind you, nobody was stopping you from being gay. Nobody gave a fuck that you were gay. As long as you respected my space, you didn't push up on me, and you respected that I'm not fucking gay. Nobody gave a fuck. Would you and your little gay buddy explored in your personal space? Nobody gave a fuck. And mind you, here's the funny part. Most people expect heterosexuals to keep their heterosexual activities within their bedroom, in their house. So nobody wants to see you fucking your girl outside in front of everybody. Nobody wants to see that shit. You could be fat, ugly, and all that shit. Nobody wants to see it. You could be the baddest bitch in the world, flyest nigga in the world. Nobody want to see you fucking your girl outside. Keep that shit in your bedroom. Why? Because you walking down the street and you see a chick with a fat ass getting fucked by some dude down the street. Now, you're not going to look at the dude as a man. You're going to look at the chick and be like, damn, she got a fat ass and he's fucking the shit out of her. Your girl walking with you, though, she going to smack the shit out you. But your girl, see, she looking at his dick, and guess what's going to happen? You going to look at her like, bitch, why are you looking at this nigga's dick? And you going to want to punch her in the face. Nobody wants to see it. So, with that being said, what I'm saying is nobody wants to see you and your partner exploring each other outside in public. That's a generalized expectation on both parts, heterosexual and homosexual. Nobody wants to see that shit. So nobody was saying that gay people couldn't be gay. Nobody. Now, but this is just on the surface. What I'm telling you now, I'm just getting... I'm getting y'all spoon-fed with the baby food right now. So I'm getting y'all, okay, I'm opening y'all eyes a little bit, and then I'm just going to give y'all the part that's really going to fuck y'all up if you're not already in the know. So now, if you're in the building, hit that comment section. So now, and hit that like button. So now, we got through the feminist movements, which I don't have a problem with. Women should have rights. They should have equal pay. You do a job, you should get fucking paid. You have experience, you should get fucking paid. But they did not give a fuck about women's rights. Let's be realistic. That was a move to get the gay rights in, to destroy the family structure. The feminist movement was partially destroying the family structure. Here's why. When the feminist movements come out, and the women see all these famous women talking about, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this, and they get it, more power to you. Because, mind you, the civil rights didn't get attention like that. Not every black person was like, oh, shit, black power. No. And when they did, guess what the fuck happened? They got their ass blown off. They was put in jails. They was beat. Dogs were sicked on them. Fire hoses were sprayed on them. All type of shit happened. The leaders got murdered. But when women's rights came, I didn't see no women get murdered. I didn't see none of that shit. Mind you, it's a different time and stuff and all that, but I didn't see none of that because there was an agenda behind it. The best way to destroy black people is to destroy the family structure, because now the cycle continues with kids growing up, no daddy in the house. The kids find love in the streets. They become gang members, bank robbers, murderers, drug dealers, end up in prison, end up dead. Less black men in the street, meaning less women finding a good black man. They marry a white man. That white man's fucking that black sister that he been wanting to fuck like a slave. Neffy Queen. I don't know who that is, but thank you for the comments. So now, shout out to Neffy Queen. Shout out to Ali 420. Shout out to I Am Mowgli. He's usually on this live. He's probably not on right now. So now, baby, can I have some of that soda? So now, it's all a plan to put more black men in prison, to leave. That's what the feminist rights were for, to get black men in prison. Not just black men, but minority men, but mainly we're going to specifically talk about black men, to put black men in prison. The reason why is because that woman is going to feel herself, and that woman's going to say, I'm just as good as you. I could work the same job as you. The reality of it is you are just as good, but you can't do the same shit we do. Just like we can't do the same shit you do. Your body is meant to be a nurturer and to nurture life, to carry life. Our body is meant to protect and create life. So now, when we have sex and I get you pregnant, I am planting my seed inside you to grow and nurture that seed and bring it into this existence, this experience we call life. So now, that puts you, a woman, in a subservient position in life, because I am giving you the DNA. I am giving you the seed to bear. You now have to be subservient to me and carry that seed and raise that seed up. I'm giving you a job. That's like when you go to a job that you work at and get paid, you're being subservient to your manager, your boss, your district manager, your whoever, your CEO. You're being subservient. So that puts you in a subservient position, a position we're not going to say beneath, but we're also not going to say equal to. It's almost a position of being owned. But nature dictates this to be. God dictated this to be that way. So we should not go against it. But here's what the elite wants you to do. Now, when a woman feels I can do whatever you can do, that causes a problem in the family structure. Because now she's going to say, nigga, I don't need you. I could work that factory job. I can work that mechanic's job, which a lot of you can, but not all of you. And that's the problem. Now, I can do what you can do. I can raise these kids on my own. I could discipline these kids, and I could raise these kids to be men. We are in jail. We are living. We need to come together and dominate the white devil. That's a fact. We need to dominate all devils. So now, the devil has many faces. So now, when a woman takes these feministic rights and goes to the extreme, they now push and fight against that man when he's giving you valuable advice, because a woman thinks off of emotion and a man thinks off of logic. We need each other to be a complete human being. We need feminine energy and masculine energy. We need both to coexist. To coexist means completeness. We need each other. We need each other to be complete, which is why your objective in life is to find a soulmate. Because, mind you, life comes from the feminine and the masculine. Nature is perfect. God created this shit the way he did perfectly. Man is flawed. We cannot top God. We can't do it. But you can understand, for the most part, if man and woman create a life together, that is like God. That brings you the closest to godliness you can ever be. So now, the family structure. That family structure becomes disturbed when the woman thinks, I can do whatever a man can do. No, you cannot. You cannot spew forth life. You cannot plant that seed into another woman's body to create life. You just cannot fucking do it. You're the life bearer. The man is the life bringer. You understand? Now, you also do not have the body structure to be the protector. Now, granted, we are in the day and age of guns. So, I mean, in that sense, but you could be the protector. But mind you, you don't have the mindset to cope with what you have to do to protect. A man, when a man kills somebody, their brain is automatically going to release electric signals and emotional signals to balance them out to say, to cope with what the fuck they did. Oh, I killed that nigga, I was protecting my family. A female, because they think of emotion, when they shoot somebody to protect their family, 9 times out of 10, they're going to lose their shit. They're going to go crazy. They're going to cry. They're going to have all type of emotional, psychotic events happen, which is even when they give birth, they have a psychotic event happen, postpartum depression, because they parted with that life that was inside them. A man wouldn't do that because we just don't have the capacity to do it, because we think with logic. Now, when you disturb that balance that God created, there's problems which will land a man outside of the family structure, which will land the next generation in prison. Because now the mother is going to say, I can raise these little boys to be men. You cannot. Here's why. You're going to fuck it up. You're going to resent the man. That's right. You're going to raise... I can raise these little boys to be men and raise these little girls to be women. Mind you, we need both examples of a parent figure. We need the father to be the disciplinary and protector. So now when that daughter sees that father there protecting and says, my daddy's going to protect me when a man comes here and he's trying to sleep with me and all he's looking at me for is some pussy, my dad's going to break every bone in his fucking body or possibly kill him. So let me find a man that respects me, and let me love a man that respects me, and let me love a man that in the eyes of my father is going to be acceptable. And when that woman shows that daughter that this is what she expects out of her man, to protect that daughter and protect her and to love her and to support her and take care of her, this is what that daughter's going to expect. That daughter's going to have a self-pride. When that mother has pride in herself and takes care of herself and is grinding just as hard as her husband, that's what the daughter's going to look for in a relationship. When a son has a father there, that father shows him the discipline that he needs and teaches him how to be that next father and that protector like he once was. Do you understand? For example, if you're a boy and you have a father in your household and your father works a job, 9 times out of 10, you are going to go out and get a job and bring home the bacon. You're going to pay the bills. You're going to work because that's what your father did. Inadvertently, you're not going to just do it because that's what he did. And subconsciously, that's what's going to come in. That's what is going to come into your being. Now, when you, let's say, for example, you see your dad is a lazy fucking bum and he sits on his ass and doesn't work and doesn't have a job. He just eats up all your little fucking cereal. He eat up all your fucking snacks, don't do shit. That's what you're going to be. Or when your dad's not there, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to know how to cope with having a child because you have to grow up fast. You weren't able to be a child. Therefore, you can't cope with having a child around you. You're going to leave. That's called creating a cycle. That's what this government, that's what the elite do to minorities. They create a cycle of life that is hard to break out of through slavery. They put the physical slavery, then now they put the mental, right? The feminist movements further that agenda. Not to say women shouldn't have rights, they should. But when it fucks with the balance of a family structure and the balance of nature, it is destructive and needs to be dismantled. Like I said, I love women. And I think women should have rights. And I think women are equal, but not the same. We are equal. We're equal, but not the same. We are two different sides of the same fucking coin. Understand that. Now, when you say I am equal to you as a man and I can do what you can do, you are sadly mistaken, because there's shit I can do that you cannot as a woman. There's shit you can do that I cannot do as a man. That's what makes us equal, because we both have something that we both can do together, and things that equally we have that neither of us can do the same as the other side. Now, to the homosexual part of the this conversation, the homosexual movement, the LGBT community. And like I said, this is for the elites. The elites know that putting the man in jail and only separating the man from the household is not enough. Because if you can't get enough men in the prison, or enough men to get removed out of that black woman's home, because a lot of them are going to go in that white woman's home, you also need to destroy a man's morals and sensibility, in the sense that you need to make homosexuality legalized, right? You need to go with the homosexual movement. And the reason being is that even further, now the woman is going to say, because not enough just to remove the man, you need to now give that woman, another woman. And you now also need to force that woman to adopt the masculine energy and have the man adopt the feminine energy, right? Because now just pushing the feministic belief system onto women wasn't enough to remove all of the men from the household. It wasn't enough to make women rise up against their husbands or their boyfriends or whatever, and forget about the feministic part of their own being and be subservient. And when I say subservient, I do not mean you're fucking slave. When I say subservient, I mean that you submit yourself, and you're willing to take advice, and you're willing to talk things out, and you're willing to learn, and you're willing to be protected and taken care of the way that you're supposed to, the way that nature intended. Not meaning sit on your ass and just spend all the niggas' money and be a gold digger and a bum bitch. No, what I mean is to support that partner in every way that a woman is supposed to, the way your grandparents did it. Your great-grandparents did it. Without the ass beatings and shit, right? And how they didn't argue that your husband could cheat, and you didn't argue. You knew your position. You knew this nigga come home to me, bitch, you ain't shit. He's just spewing his seed in you. You're a cum dumpster. So now, and not to say that men should cheat, because no, you shouldn't really. But it's just the pettiness didn't exist with our grandparents. The pettiness didn't exist with our great-grandparents. It just wasn't heard of, because the woman knew her place as a queen. Now, and she knew that these other bitches was peasants. But now, the homosexual LGBT groups, the civilians don't know what they're doing by pushing this agenda. What they're doing is taking the man and forcing him to fully adopt the feminine energy. Not accept it, but adopt it. And when a man adopts that feminine energy and becomes the subservient, he cannot be the fucking protector. So now, when a man comes into your house and threatens your household, you can't be that protector. You're a bitch. You can't be that protector. The woman is forced to step up and be that protector. You know what happens? She's going to get knocked the fuck out. She's going to get her ass beaten. She's going to get murdered in the extreme circumstances. Or in a mental capacity, she's not going to be able to be the protector either. Not just that, but her being the woman, when she goes shopping, she doesn't think logically. 9 times out of 10, depending on the situation. When she goes clothes shopping, she's not looking at what's useful. She's looking at, oh, shit, I like that. I want that. And you go off on a tangent and buy every fucking thing. Financially, you're going to struggle more. Now, that's a stereotype, but it's oftentimes very true. There's going to be things, like I said, also, she's going to adopt that masculine energy to the point where she's now like, nigga, I don't need no man to raise these kids. And she's going to force herself to be extra masculine to raise those boys and extra hard on those boys, because A boy is not going to respect a woman as the disciplinary. It's just not going to happen. The boy's going to say, she's a woman. I'm going to be stronger than her one day. I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. Right? They're going to disrespect her. Anybody who's been raised in the hood, no. When this mom by themselves, unless they busting your ass or they super strict on you, you're not respecting her. If she was soft on you, you was running all over her. But if your daddy was there, your ass was in line. As soon as your daddy came home from work, your ass was like a fucking toy soldier standing straight like a motherfucker. You was there ready to salute the nigga. If he told you to get down and give me 20, nigga, you was giving him 30. This is a fact. So now, when you remove the masculine energy and you force a female to adopt that masculine energy, it causes an imbalance in the household. That boy is going to come out extra feminine or extra fucking violent. It's going to force him to be the extreme on either side. And it's very difficult to break out of that cycle. So now this is how the black community is destroyed. Financially, emotionally, structurally in the family, right? And you know what's funny? You know why it's effective to destroy the black community? This is going to fuck y'all up when y'all see this. Because some of y'all are out of the live. Y'all probably went to sleep or had other shit to do. Your phones died or whatever the case may be, or you're busy, right? But this is how it's going to fuck y'all up. And y'all going to view it later. I want y'all to go back and view this and really listen. And it sounds like I'm rambling on, but if you listen closely, I'm not. The reason why this successfully fucks up the black or minority community, which most Latinos, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans are all black. A lot of them just hate to admit it, but here's the thing. You came from the same slave trades. You came from the same indigenous tribes. You came from the same Israel. You came from the same place. The only difference is on who the fuck enslaved you and which language you were taught. That's the only real difference, and what island you were stuck on. Who enslaved you, what language they taught you, and what island you were stuck on, and which master you were serving, which plantation you was working on. Who the fuck beat you and lynched you? That's it. Who kidnapped you and raped your fucking kids and raped your ancestors and all that other shit? That's the only difference. So Spain and conquistadors ravaged and raped the Hebrews that went to Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic and all those other places. Those Spanish-speaking countries that black people allowed to say nigga, right? And then black people, regular black people, got kidnapped and raped and pillaged by Europeans. White Europeans, not the Spaniard Europeans, the other ones, Britain, those ones. And then Haiti got and other tropical islands got captured by France, which is the funniest thing. So it shows you who the fuck divided you up, and by the language that you speak, you were slaves. You're all the same people. You just speak a different language because your slave master spoke a different language. That's it. So now, that's number one. Number two, why it's so successful to destroy the family structure using homosexuality, pedophilia, feminism, and all that shit, because homosexuality and all of that other stuff that comes with homosexuality and the belief systems that society, this Romanistic society, tries to impose onto you, was not existent in black societies. I'm gonna say it again. The homosexuality was not present or accepted in black societies. And that's one of the ways you can tell the Bible is black. Because if you go to Africa, what the fuck happens to homosexuals? I'm not even going to answer that question because most of you already know. And most of you are going to say it in your head. You go to Jamaica. Before the government stepped in and got in on it, even the government was like, fuck homosexuals in Jamaica. Like I said, it's not hate speech. I'm telling the facts. I'm just relaying the message. Mind you, I have no problem with them people as long as they mind their fucking business. I'm on my mind. I'm just going to open the eyes of my people. Now, what happens in Jamaica to homosexuals? What happens to Haiti to homosexuals? What happens in Puerto Rico to homosexuals? What happens in black communities before all these hate crime laws and bills have been passed? What happens to homosexuals in black communities? What happens to homosexuals in any communities where black people are the majority? They are not accepted, and shit happens to them. This was not prevalent in ancestor societies. It wasn't prevalent in the Bible, which means the Israelites, the Hebrews, the Jews, the Levites, the all of the 12 tribes had to have been black, not just not even just the descriptions that were given in this book. They had to have been black. Islam is not accepted. Guess who was the original Muslims? Black people. The Moors, black people. Guess, and don't get me started on Christians, because first of all, black people, you should not subscribe to being Christians, because if you knew the real meaning of that word, it means Cretan, which means to be a fool, to be an idiot, to be dumb, so you shouldn't be subscribed to the word Christian. Don't call yourself a Christian. It has nothing to do with Christ's name. That name, Jesus Christ, was imposed onto the Messiah figure, and his name was not Jesus. First of all, the letter J didn't come until way after the Bible was written. It didn't exist in the Hebraic alphabet. It didn't exist in the English alphabet until way later. Okay? And Christ, that last name was put there to justify for dumb people who followed the Roman Catholic Church and their belief system that was put there by Pontius Pilate, right? To justify calling yourself a Christian, to fool your dumb ass into thinking that calling myself a Christian means I'm following after Christ. No, the fuck it doesn't. Oh, wait, matter of fact, yes, it does. It means you're following after that white fucking Jesus, which means you are a fucking fool. Because common sense and intelligence, and matter of fact, being wise would tell you, with that fucking climate, none of the fucking tribes could have been white. None of the apostles, none of the followers of the Messiah could have been fucking white. It's impossible. You know why? What happens to white people when they go in the sun? What happens? Prolonged exposure to the sun. They already produce vitamin D in their body, which means they're overproducing vitamin D, which also causes them to get skin cancer. Oh, and sunburn. Now, mind you, I don't know about y'all. It's hot as fuck in the United States in the summer, even in New York. But I don't know about you, but I don't think any dark-skinned black person is gonna need sunscreen, right? Also, I don't know about y'all, but it's hot as fuck in the United States, and a lot of these white people get skin cancer from the sun and get sunburned. I really think that it would be kind of fucking moronic and stupid as fuck for a white person to have been in Israel, which is hotter than here, more consistently hot than here in the United States, which has its cold seasons and all that other shit. Which, mind you, here's the funny shit. They'll tell you, no, it's not. Yes, it is. It's on the continent of fucking Africa, which is hot as shit. There's deserts in Africa. Big ones. There's huge parts of Africa that are completely desert. That are hot all year round. Doesn't snow. Barely snows. Barely rains. When it does rain, the fucking rain is probably hot. So now, logic will tell you it is impossible for these people to have been white. Impossible. Right? We live in a Romanized society, a Romanistic society. Look at where the Capitol buildings are. Look at Washington, D.C., where the White House and all that shit is. The monuments, they all look like what? Roman architecture. The president, all these government officials, they all look to the Pope, the Roman Catholic Church. Rome is still in power today. Just behind the scenes, baby. Rome is still in power. We still in Rome. We still the same people. We are still the Hebrews. We are still the Jews. We are still underneath Rome's power. The Jewish people today are converts, not even regular converts. Like they didn't just accept our faith and say, "Oh, we're gonna fuck with y'all." No, they're the Khazars. The Khazars came and stole our identity and removed us from it, which is why they stopped us from being able to read and be able to communicate in our native tongue. We weren't illiterate when we fucking came here, nigga. We just were illiterate to their fucking language, which we taught them generations ago. We taught them Greek, right? We taught them Greek. They were illiterate. We taught them how to read, period, and they just developed their own languages over time. When they did that, we couldn't read their languages. We couldn't talk their languages. So when they brought us over here, we were like, talking in Hebrew, and the motherfuckers was like, no, we're taking that from y'all. We know that y'all are connected to the Messiah figure, but we want to fool you, and not only fool you, but fool our fucking selves in thinking that we're going to be saved in salvation. Because you know what? What does the Bible say when the black people wake up, and what's going to happen? And they took it super literal, and that's funny because black people don't even believe a lot of this shit that's going to... They say they believe in the Bible, but they don't believe all of the prophecies. That's what's the funny shit. The prophecies tell you who the fuck you are. They tell you're going to go back into Egypt on slave ships. A common sense person would tell you, there's no way in hell that I'm going to come from Israel and go into Egypt on a fucking slave ship. It just can't fucking happen. The only people who went on a slave ship were black people, right? And a lot of people are arguing because they believe what white people are saying, that all of us were aboriginals. No, not all of us. And that's number one. We weren't even aboriginals to begin with. Matter of fact, there were... Let's make something really clear. There were aboriginals here that were black, right? But within that percentage that were here already when the slave ships came, there's even there's a very, very small part of those groups. Let's say out of 1,000, there were 1,000 people here already, aboriginal. Let's say that number because it's small. I'm telling you, at least maybe only like out of 1,000, maybe 300 to 400 of them were here from day one. The rest of them came here on their own fucking ships, traveled here, and even only half of them were not brought here on earlier slave trades. So we were already traveling and communicating with the people here. So we were already had settlers coming here from Israel and all of those other places, Egypt and everywhere else, coming here, the Moors, all of that shit. Right? What's that? Mansa Musa came here to this place and traded with the people that were here. The Olmecs, all of that shit. Come on, man. Do your research. Use common sense. Stop doing your research studying their history. That's their fucking story. Your story is in that book, the Bible, which is funny because the history books, at least in the school I went to, they literally continue right after. And I did not go to a Catholic school, Christian school, none of that shit. I went to a regular fucking public school. They continue where the Bible kind of leaves off. There's only a small gap of time between the two. They don't tell you any black history other than you being taken as a fucking slave in that book. So now, if you read from one of the last prophecies that you will be taken into Egypt on slave ships, and then you go into reading the history books in school where it picks up you being captured in slavery, it's all one coinciding history. It's all one coinciding story. It's literally telling you what the fuck is going on. It sounds like it's a future writing. It's not. I mean, it is a future writing. It's all records of what the fuck happened to black people. History is based on black people. Their finances based off the backs of black people. All these societies were based off of black people. We taught them everything, which is why their time is based off a black man, Christ. Which is why their history is based off of black people, because we taught them all their knowledge. Everything that they know is based off of black fucking people. Look at it. Look at their history. It's based on what happened to black people. It starts off from what happened to black people. You were born as slaves. You were slaves. It tells you a little bit about them, and they ignore the fact that we were in Europe before them, the Dark Ages. They ignore that. They ignore all that shit. They talk about their little shit here and there, right? But they talk about, what do they talk about though? In their history books, they talk about their side first. Rome and all these places. They talk about Rome and all that shit, right? But it doesn't say anything about us. It doesn't mention shit about us. In those history books they teach you in high school and in middle school and elementary school. Don't teach you shit about black people. But then so basically take it as a fork in the road. Our history, their history, right? They talk about Rome, Greece, and all these shit, them, right? Them in the school history books. The Bible talks about us. Then there's the meeting point, slavery. That's the meeting point, slavery. Now, at that meeting point, then it continues on from there. And now you have modern society. Rome never fell out of power. The kingdom of Rome never fell out of power. Rome is just now the capital. And now, because they've gotten so powerful and just basically took over the whole fucking world for the most part, they just changed names of different places. It's like the United States have different states. We're just in different states of Rome. Rome's been on this conquest to conquer the world since day one. Rome is still in power. Look at the architecture. Look at our judicial system. It's based off of Rome. They tell you that in school. It's just your dumb ass don't listen. And the way they tell you it in school is to make it seem smaller than it really is. Rome is still in power. Rome is still in power. The Pope is still the biggest nigga in the world. Look at my live skipping and shit. They trying to fuck with me. I'm dropping too much knowledge on y'all, yo. Come on, man. Rome is still in power. Look at the police system. When you watch those movies about Rome and shit, like 300 and shit and all them other places like, Sparta and Rome and shit, the soldiers marched around the same way the police drive around in their vehicles and pick people up and arrest them and put them in dungeons and shit, jails. They still have the same type of weapons, the clubs and shit and all that. Billy clubs and shit. And the modern day spear is the gun. They still have their shields, the fucking badges. But in Rome, they had the big ass shields and shit. They still have their shield. It's still called a shield. The police still called their badge a shield in some precincts. Shit has not changed. We're still in Rome. It's just updated with the times. They know Christ was black. They know this shit. They tricked you out of your grace. They tricked you out of your royalty. They tricked you out of your position. Y'all niggas is dumb. We're still in captivity. We were in captivity, never left. And the funny thing is, when you realize a lot of this shit, you start to look in the language and you start to read into more shit. First of all, Egypt is not called Egypt. It's Mizraim. It's Mizraim. 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 Right? That's Egypt. The word Egypt means bondage. You will go back into bondage on slave ships. You will go back into Egypt on slave ships. Nobody else went into slavery on slave ships. Nobody else. Now, like I said, one of the things that the Hebrew Israelite brothers don't argue is they don't line up your school textbooks in history class with the Bible. It's literally written in such a way, it's like a Y. It's literally like a fucking Y. It's their history comes this way, our history comes this way, and when you put them together, that makes the complete history, the complete story of the world. Because, mind you, we in our history use the old names of these nations. We use the old names, the original names of these nations in the Bible. Because we spoke a different language, we call them by different names. That's all. They spoke a different language. They call the nations by different names. We call the nations by different names because we spoke a different language. But it's all the same fucking nations. We call things by the father of those nations. Like Israel, the father of that nation is Jacob. Fucked y'all up, right? And Abraham and all them, we call the nations by the father of that nation. The same way they still do today. America. Look up who named America. I'm not going to give you the answer to that. I'm going to make you go look. It is a European's last name. The word America, actually, I don't think it's America, but they got it from a man's name, the name America. A lot of places, a lot of nations are named after the people who founded them or conquered them. We did that a long time ago. We did that a long time ago. The practices has never changed. There's nothing new under the sun. God told us this. But you Christians, you people don't believe in the Bible, but you don't believe in the Bible. If you believe, you'd study and look at your fucking history. You look at your story. His story. Get it? Get it? His story. It's in the word. That's his story. That's his part. Our part's the Bible. They did not give it to us. We wrote it and they kept it from us. And then when we did get it back, they gave it back to us in a way we wouldn't understand it. And they gave it back to us as religion. So anybody who says the white man gave black people the Bible, be correct about it. Be complete in your analysis. Be complete in your what you're saying, in your information. Be complete. They gave it to us, but they gave it to us flawed. They gave it to us in a misunderstanding. They gave it to us so we misunderstood it. They gave it to us as religion. They didn't give it to us as history, because if they gave it to us as a story and our beginnings, our history, right? Our story, they gave it to us like that, guarantee you we wouldn't be in the position we're in right now. Fucked y'all up. Rome brought homosexuality to us. We did not have it. In our laws, it states that is an abomination. No disrespect to the homosexuals. I'm just saying. No disrespect to y'all. I'm just telling you. Read the goddamn book. That book don't preach hate. It preaches our laws that our nation set forth. Because if you could argue that the Bible preaches hate and those were the laws that our people created, we can preach that this country preaches hate toward black people. Because a lot of laws they have, black people have to go against those laws to survive. It's all a trick, man. It's all a game. Educate yourself. Use fucking common sense. God gives you common sense for a reason. God didn't give you all of the information that these white people regurgitate to you. God gives you common sense to determine the facts from the fiction. The real from the bullshit. Right? God gave you common sense for a reason. That's the closest thing to true knowledge, is using your fucking common sense. Use logic. White people can't be in a hot ass climate like that where the sun is constantly beaming down. They don't have the melanin to protect them naturally. And there's no way in fuck you're gonna say they had sunscreen way back then. Maybe a primitive form like dirt, bird shit or some shit. But come on, let's be real logical about that shit, man. Let's be real logical about that shit. Look at the hairstyles, though. Look at the hairstyles. First of all, dreadlocks, beards, the way our beards look, our fucking hair. Oh, wait, hold up now. It's gonna really fuck y'all up. Egypt, they shaved their fucking heads, right? To get rid of license shit. And they put wigs on. What the fuck do black people do? Women cut their hair off and they put that wig on when they don't want to do their hair, right? See, Egypt was black too. Just a different tribe. We've been destroying ourselves, but this is things that were put onto us. We just weren't into certain shit that would completely annihilate each other. We're all self-destructive by nature. White people are extremely self-destructive. But the reason why they're trying to destroy the whole world, which they're trying to do, is because they know that no matter what they do, God mandated that something is going to happen to them at the end of their kingdom. Not the end of the world, at the end of their world. God never said the world is going to end as we know it. Wait, actually, God did say that. God never said that the world is going to end as a whole. God said the world is going to end as we know it. God said their world is going to end, not ours. And when God said the world is going to end at the end of days, at the end of the world, it means the end of our struggling days, or end of our slavery days. And theirs will begin. Okay? Christians, stop being in your religion and use your fucking mind. Stop letting them brainwash you. Why the fuck do you have to go to a special school to be able to interpret, for someone to tell you how to interpret the words of God? How could that man or woman created by God tell you how to interpret God's word. That's like me telling you something and having someone stand between us and tell you to what they are interpreting from what I'm saying. When I'm telling you exactly what the fuck I'm saying right in front of you. Stop listening to other people's interpretations and taking them on as literal when you have the word right there in front of you. Stop being fucking stupid. It's there in front of you. Stop. Don't tell me that teacher in that school, that pastor knows better than you. They don't. They know just as much as you. Actually, they know less than you. You know why they know less than you? Because they're not using their common sense. They're using what that school fucking taught them. When you go into these schools, why answer? And nobody, why does a pastor need to go to a special school to become a pastor to teach you in the church? They're not being taught the Bible. They're being taught religion. They're not being taught the history. They're being taught religion. How to push the religion. They don't even know that because they're so dumb. This is with the same thing that they tried to do to Nat Turner. All you're doing when you become a pastor and you go to that special school and you don't just say, you know what, I'm going to be a pastor, I'm going to teach my people, I'm going to wake my people up. If you go to that special school, you know who you are? You're Nat Turner. You're Nat Turner. Only difference is he woke the fuck up. Like I'm trying to wake y'all up. That's the only difference. You're Nat Turner. And they're giving you the slave Bible. They're not giving you the Bible because don't matter what Bible they give you. The reality of it is if you get the same answer out of it, we're the fucking Hebrews, we're the Israelites, we're the Jews, we're Levi, we're all the 12 tribes. That's who we are. Certain things are destined for us. That's our history. That's our story. As long as you get that and you understand that's about us, you good. No matter what Bible they give you. What the slave Bible is a state of mind. What it is they teach you how to read that motherfucker a certain way to make you more of a slave. That's what the slave Bible is. That's what they gave us. A way to read it to make us more subservient to them, not the creator. When they made us believe in a white Jesus, which couldn't have existed, it was a black Jesus, Yeshua, Joshua, Yahweh, all of that, then that's when we were woke. That's when we were awake. That's when we knew what the fuck was going on. Now we dumb. Come on, man. They made you dumber than you were when you got here. Motherfuckers is dumb. Adopting their belief systems is what the fuck got us in slavery in the first place. And you're going to continue to do it? You're going to continue to be that Christian? You're going to keep doing their ideology? Idolatry? You're still going to fall for their dumb shit? The book tells you what the fuck got you in this place anyway. Adopting other people's religions. Adopting religions. That's what the fuck got us here. Stop adopting religions and read your fucking story and learn that it's your story. That's what they're trying to prevent. That's why white people are going to destroy the world, because there's a certain prophecy that says they're going to go into slavery, that their time is ending. And before their time ends, they'd rather destroy every fucking body than let themselves be destroyed and be in the position that they put you in, because they know the horrors that they made you face. They know the trauma that they put on your people. They know the beatings and the scar, the fucking wound that has not healed that they put on your people. They know what the fuck they did to you. And because they know how terrible that life was, that more than over 400 years that they put onto you, they know how horrible that was. Because they know that they raped your women, sold your children, murdered y'all, castrated y'all, cut y'all balls off, ripped your woman inside out, banged y'all baby's skulls against stones when they were born, killed your kids. They know how fucking terrible and evil that was, and they know the same is going to happen to them. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. As so above, so below. Get it? As so above, so below. They're at the top right now. The motherfuckers is at the bottom too. They about to be at the bottom. As so above, so below. So they're mighty right now. And as they're at the top, they're going to be at the bottom. We were at the bottom. We about to be at the top. Shit ain't changed. Ain't nothing new under the sun, baby. God already wrote this. This already happened. History repeats itself, baby. This is just a continuation. Ain't shit changed. Roman's still in power, baby. It's time for y'all to wake the fuck up. It's time for y'all to wake the fuck up. Open your eyes, man. Stop walking around with your eyes closed. You're going to walk into a lot of fucking walls. Wake the fuck up. We going against the grain, baby. We waking motherfuckers up for real. And shout out to Hassan Campbell, man. Stop letting niggas deter you from your path and your mission, bruh. Keep it up, my nigga. And anybody else speaking positivity and pushing people to wake up, shout out to y'all. Shout out to anybody who's pushing positivity and trying to do something tough, whether it's with music, whether you doing whatever you doing to get out of the situation and the bottom, out the mud, and get the fuck away from that. And you lift your family up first, and then try to help the other people wake them up. Whatever way you can wake them up, whether it's financial power, whatever it is to help other people, shout out to you. Shout out to you. I'm telling you now, look into what I'm saying. White people's pride is going to make them be so self-destructive they've destroyed the entire world before they end up as a fucking slave, because they know they made a slave, so they know what it's like for a slave. They don't want to be that. They can't handle it. They ain't strong like us. They can't carry the whole world on their back like us. Stop. And like I said, I don't hate white people. I'm just telling you, this is what these elite white people will do. They'll destroy other white people. They'll destroy poor white people so that they don't end up in the position that we were in. Their hands ain't rough enough. Their hands are too soft to pick cotton. They can't run through them woods away from fucking dogs. They can't jump high enough to not get bit by them goddamn dogs. This ain't racism, man. This is a fact, man. I'm regurgitating information. I cited the source. And I'm telling you, their pride, they would rather destroy the entire world. That's why it seems like they're doing shit that's going to kill us all. And they just keep, mind you, as smart as they are and as much research they do, they still doing dumbass shit that's going to destroy us. Come on, man. It's on purpose. It's on purpose. They tried destroying us by ourselves so that we don't wake up. They tried making us dumb, but it's inevitable that we wake up eventually. And when we do, they know what's going to happen. So they're trying to be ahead of the game and destroy everybody. Like, fuck everybody. I'm not going to be no goddamn slave. I'd rather die. Death before dishonor, baby. Come on, man. So now, thank y'all for sticking with me. Thank y'all for listening to this. Thank y'all for fucking with us. And thank y'all for going against the fucking grain. We getting it in. We going to keep doing these fucking lives. We're going to keep doing this shit. Hey, man, support, man. Get in here, give up some donations, whatever you got to do. Go to my fucking Patreon. We're going to be dropping content. Support the music when it comes. Support my merch when it comes. Support my, I got skincare, hair care products coming. I got, I think I'm going to have some beard oils, some fragrances. I'm going to have all type of shit coming. Just stay tuned. Be prepared when it comes. Support it. We got to start supporting each other. We got to start helping each other out. We got to start waking each other up. We got to start doing that shit. We got to get it together. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? So support. I'm going to have some short films. Maybe might have a YouTube TV series coming. I'm going to have a lot of shit coming, man. I'm looking into all different types of ventures to create streams of revenue. I'm trying to create my own music industry. I'm trying to create my own movie industry. I'm trying to create everything on my own. I might have to use that platform for right now until I get the finances to make my own platform. But, man, we doing the thing, and we got to do it together. There's no other way. All right? Had we stuck together from the beginning, we wouldn't have been in the position we're in now. So tune into the next video. Thank y'all for fucking with Kahuna Valley TV. There's more to come. Don't let this mission get stopped. Don't let people get in your way. Don't let people hurt you, man. Stay positive. Stay tuned. Stay moving up in the world. Stay waking up, bro. So now fuck with us. It's on and cracking, baby. Wavy World Savvy. Let's go. Facto. Tune into another Kahuna Valley TV episode, man. You know what I'm saying? Come fuck with us. Tune in. Share, like, subscribe. Comment. If you're watching this video later, I also want to let y'all know there's no hate speech. We have the right of freedom of speech. So whatever I say, as long as I'm not purposefully offending people, which I'm not, okay? I'm trying to give pride to a certain group of people. So mind you, when white people say white power and have pride for white people, nobody say nothing. You know what I'm saying? When gay people say gay pride, nobody say nothing. But let somebody say minority pride, black pride, Latino pride, brown pride, whatever the fuck, there's a problem. Shouldn't be. We all equal, but not the same, baby. So tune in. Come fuck with me. Support. You know what I'm saying? Drop that like, hit that like button, put it on smash. You know what I'm saying? Repeatedly. I don't give a fuck. Just keep liking that bitch. Keep watching. Tune in. All right. Like I said, I got merch coming. I got a lot of shit coming. And sorry for the harsh language. If you can't tolerate it and you have a problem with it, this video is not for you, because I'm gonna be me regardless. And I am gonna have videos come where I am gonna not try my best. I'm gonna try my best to sort out cursing and all that and the swearing, so that the our elders could watch these videos and not be like, oh my god, you know. I'm gonna try to, you know, calm that down a little bit. But that's later on. I'm also have more kid-friendly videos coming. Got a lot of shit coming. I got food reviews, all of that coming. So just tune in, all right? So peace. This is the end of the video. You know, don't be afraid to DM me on YouTube or whatever. Don't be afraid to hit me in the comment section if you want to collab on something or whatever. Or if you need a feature for a song or verse or something, hit me up. But serious inquiries only. When we do business, I need serious people with money and shit like that, because at the end of the day, niggas gotta live. So let me live. I'm gonna let you live. Peace.